Hey everyone, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in to Relevant Jukebox. So I hope everybody's doing well, hope everybody is feeling well in quarantine right now. I got another batch of 10 records here, all of which are colored vinyls except for one, so I'm just gonna get right into this update. Starting off here with the record I was very happy to see get repressed, 100% Electronica by George Clanton. This is his first full-length album under the George Clanton name. Really like this one. This was long out of print. It was super limited, and he finally announced a reissue thanks to the popularity of Slide, it seems like. I got into him, and pretty much when most people did, seems like around that time. And this is the GAC green vinyl. Kind of looks like a bunch of snot, but it's a cool splatter effect on the clear there. From George, which I do believe there's a new pressing up that you can get of this one now. Moving right along here is Fishing for Fishies from King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. One of two albums that they dropped last year. I actually think over time I preferred this one a little bit more. It's a little bit more in their normal wheelhouse. I did like Infest the Rat's Nest, but I don't really go into like 80s hair metal too frequently, honestly. It came with this ridiculous big poster. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to show the whole thing. The band looking all like ridiculous from, I believe that's from the music video that they shot. And this is the Toxic Waste colored vinyl. Another like really putrid looking green here, but a nice marbling effect that happens on it. But yeah, I enjoyed this record. I think, the lyrical themes become more and more relevant. Next up here, very solid pop record from 2019. I have Carly Rae Jepsen's Dedicated. I don't think I would consider myself like the biggest Carly Rae Jepsen fan. I mean, I'm not really too huge on Emotion actually, but I really like this record. Really, really sharp hooks all over it, I thought. Cool little gatefold action there. But, Carly not necessarily stepping too outside of her comfort zone on this one, but again, I just really thought it was enjoyable. Some really great tracks on here. Just the standard black vinyl. Do suggest this album if you are into pop, though. Next up here, another solid album from Denzel Curry, Zoo. I thought this was a really solid follow-up to Taboo. A lot different in its tone, but some really fun tracks in there, some bangers. I mean, banger after banger on this one. Cool gatefold, too. I like the reverse picture in Denzel there, and the vinyl itself is really cool. It matches the cover art really nice. It's this orange press, which I believe was just the regular retail exclusive. I bought it off of Loma Vista, but there's a few different presses of this one that you can get out there if you want to collect this album. Next up here, I thought was a really solid debut for Superorganism. It is self-titled. So this is like kind of all over the place. It throws it back to that like indie pop sound of like the early 2000s, but the production is updated. It's very colorful, this record. There's a lot of cool sounds in it. A lot of like theater of the mind to be heard with this one. And I just like how big and squishy everything sounds on this album. This was actually a limited pressing through Rough Trade that was a translucent yellow. I think there was 1,000 of these, and I ordered that one as soon as I saw that it came up for sale. Next up here, I think is a pretty underrated record that came out last year, which is Spelling's Mazy Fly. Now that's Spelling with 3 L's. And this is the limited press that was put up through Sacred Bones, and there's only 200 of them. It comes with this exclusive wraparound sleeve, as I was showing before, with like the wax stamps on it. This is what the original cover art looks like. You see Spelling in the middle of like a bunch of cows looking all weird. But this is a really cool album. This has a very like horror movie-like quality in a lot of the instrumentals and the vibe of it, which is really interesting. But it's like fused with this synth pop direction that kind of reminds me of Chromatics even at times. And this is a beautiful press. Look at this. It's like this nice sky blue, almost like teal color there. Really like the art direction that always happens at Sacred Bones. And I know recently they've actually switched up their cover theme. They used to always do it like this, where they'd have their logo and the tracks and some information on it. Now it's just kind of like this, strip on the top. Looks different. I don't know why they switched. I really like this. Next up, I have the newest full length from Stella Donnelly, Beware of the Dogs. Really, really awesome little indie pop release here. Well written, some tongue-in-cheek lyrics. And this is another limited press. This is one of the olive green presses. I got this at a local record store. It's a nice green Cool labeling as well. But really highly suggest this record. I think Stella Donnelly is a really awesome songwriter. I'm really looking forward to see what she's gonna do next on a follow-up to this album here. Next up is easily the most beautiful record of 2019, in my opinion here. We have Weyes Blood's Titanic Rising. Also, shout out to Weyes Blood for the album cover of the year of 2019, as I think it's really awesome, which, you know, it's weird though, on this vinyl press here, it doesn't really showcase it in the best way. It doesn't do it justice. It's almost faded. I don't know if anybody else had that with their vinyl jacket, but this was the limited pressing through Rough Trade. If I can get it out of the sleeve here, it is on gold, which is amazing. So highly, highly, highly suggest seeking this record out if you have not heard it and you're at all interested in like Baroque pop. This record is beautiful in every aspect. I just, you know, there's not really much negative I have to say about it. Really cool inner sleeve too. Looking all dreamy. And getting towards the end here, really, really, really solid hip-hop album from last year. Guns by Quelle Chris. Highly suggest seeking this out if you are a hip-hop head. You're like your hip-hop a little bit more left field, abstract flavored. This is a double LP here, and it is also on gold, like the Weyes Blood album. And it's very similar. I mean, it matches the cover art perfectly. You know, pretty simple labeling action, but definitely suggest this record. This one, I feel like, floated under the radar of a lot of people last year, and it's kind of a shame because it's an amazing record. And last up here, rounding up this vinyl update here, I have another pop record, as I do think 2019 was pretty much like the year for pop. There's so many solid albums. This is one of the better ones, I thought, but the debut of Dorian Electra, Flamboyant. This is a very, very, very well-written album. The production's amazing. Dorian Electra is just like such an awesome figurehead in pop music right now that I think everybody should be listening to. And this was the limited press that went up through their website, and it is a silver vinyl, which is pretty awesome. I mean, it just looks so great. The art direction on Dorian's album is pretty perfect, I think. And this release here, I mean, you go down the line, I mean, Mr. to You, Career Boy, Daddy Like, I mean, there's just hit after hit after hit on this thing. So that's gonna do it for another installment of my vinyl update series. I hope you enjoyed this one. I'll be back hopefully next Sunday with another one. And as always, thank you for watching. Make sure to like, share, and if you want more content from me, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Peace.